Are you a realist, or are you a skeptic? Or are you a believer? What's your first response when faced with an obstacle? Do you analyze the situation, seeking out the most logical conclusion? If you do, you are the realist. Or perhaps the only option you see, it's such a long shot, there is no way it could work, could it? Well, you're always the skeptic. Or maybe in spite of overwhelming odds, you see challenges as opportunities of faith. You're the believer. Now, God wants us to be like the believer, going to Christ first, even with limited resources and overwhelming problems. However, too often we find ourselves somewhere between the realist and the skeptic, blind to what God can do. Jesus' own disciples found themselves facing the same dilemma when a huge crowd had gathered. And you can read the story in John chapter 6. As noon approached, thoughts turned towards lunch, and Philip, always the realist, quickly calculated the cost to feed a crowd of over 5,000 men, plus women and children. In other words, 10 to 15,000 people. In spite of his front row seat to the previous miracles of Jesus, Philip's first thought was, nah, it's impossible. Andrew was next. Walking through the crowd, he saw a boy with a small sack lunch. And Andrew too had seen Jesus perform countless miracles. And yet he was skeptical. But still, he brought the boy with his limited resources before Jesus, hopeful. Then there was the little boy and his tiny sack lunch, 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. With no idea how his small lunch could help, this boy offered all he had to Jesus. And using that small sack lunch, Jesus miraculously fed everyone with leftovers to spare. Who are you in this story? Are you like Philip? Or are you like Andrew? Or are you like the little boy? The next time you're facing an impossible obstacle, remember the ways God has blessed you in the past. This is just a thought, and I'm Birger Draget, pastor of Three Angels and Newton Seventh-day Adventist churches in South Central Kansas. Do you remember the story I told a couple of days ago about the vacuum cleaner that the Lord repaired? Well, it happened again yesterday, this time with our dishwasher. When I came home yesterday, Jean said, "The dishwasher is making a lot of noise. Can you look at it?" And I went over to the dishwasher, and sure enough, a lot of noise came from it. And a quick search on YouTube suggested that the repair would be complicated enough to require paying someone to repair it. And that frustrated me. Do I really have to have this expense? But then I remembered, we need to pray, as we have done a couple of days earlier. And we prayed right there in front of the dishwasher. And then I moved on to something else, but only for a minute, until Jean came and informed me that the noise was gone. Again, we knelt and thanked God for saving us time and money. My friend, look to him and discover all that God can do, even with a skeptic's faith. He cares about you, and he will do his utmost to give you what you need when you seek him first. He will always answer your prayer. How he answers, leave that to him. Trust him to answer in the best and most loving way possible. Have a wonderful and blessed day.